So it's a salary prediction app that predicts the salaries of individuals working in the field like data science, AI, and machine learning. It's a very simple application, but under the hood there is a whole training and deployment pipeline going on that I'll show you in a bit. But before that, let me show you how it works. Alright, so we have a couple of variables here like the work year, experience level, employment type, and some other variables. Alright, if I get the prediction, so this is the amount an entry-level data scientist should get while residing in US and working for a company also located in US. And if I change it to a different experience like senior, this should be the amount. And now let's switch a different title like data analyst. Alright, it should be right here. This should be the amount, and if I go for entry level, then this is the amount an entry level data analyst should make. And if I change it to fully remote, then this should be the amount. Alright, okay, now let's get back to the main part. Now let's talk about the code structure and the training and deployment pipeline. I'm using Zenml, which is an orchestration tool that is used to create ML pipelines. And the first thing first is to talk about the data that I've downloaded from the Kaggle, and then we have some pipelines. The first one is our deployment pipeline that deploys the model. It uses Mlflow as a model deployer. And the second, we have a training pipeline that actually trains the model. Alright, first thing is to ingest the data, and then it splits the data, it applies transformation, and then build the model and evaluation and returns the model. So these are the steps basically that are defined right here in this steps folder. First thing first is to ingest data, and this decorator and the decorator that you see on top of a function that converts any function into a step. And the second, we have a data splitter that splits the data into xtrain, ytrain, xtest, and ytest. And then we have some other things like the model building step that actually builds the model. And these are the steps that are further utilized inside the training pipeline right here. And then we have these feature steps, and if I want to use this training pipeline, I can just run this training pipeline to train the model, and it's very simple. And all I need is to run this script, and this will run the training pipeline, and it will log all those parameters automatically inside the Mlflow. This will run the training pipeline, and it will store all those parameters. Okay, now that the training pipeline is completed, and I can access the Mlflow UI by placing this command right here. We have an Mlflow dashboard that explains about all the runs that we had, and here we have all those parameters. The model that I'm using is called the random forest regression model. Okay, now that we have trained the model, it's time to deploy the model. We can do that by using Mlflow model deployer step right here, which is part of the Zenml integration. And this function will deploy the model, and this decorator will turn this function into a pipeline. And that's how we will be deploying the model. This part of the code will run the entire deployment pipeline. First thing first is to get Mlflow model deployer stack, and then fetch that existing services right here. The first one is the pipeline name that we created right here, continuous deployment pipeline. We will be using that pipeline. We will be using the step name also, which is Mlflow deployer step, and then we will run the continuous deployment pipeline right here, and we will get that deployment pipeline for the prediction. I can't run this deployment on Windows because there are some limitations. It means I have to run it inside the Docker. So by doing that, I need to create a Docker image first. Before that, I need to have a Docker desktop running in the background. To create an image, it's very simple. All I need is just to write this command, docker build -t and image name. I have already created an image, Docker images. It's right here. And now I want to get inside the image and to run the deployment from there. Like docker run. it entry point bin and bash and docker image name MLOps project. Now I'm inside the image. I can see the directory of the image. We have our run deployment pipeline right here. I need to run this deployment. uv run deployment .py. So the model has been deployed successfully. I can inference the model using this endpoint. I have created this sample.predict file to inference the model, to test the prediction of the model, and I have this sample data right here, data preprocessor that I have created right here. This will perform pre-processing before sending a data to prediction server, and after that we'll send the data to the prediction server through this API, and I will get the prediction back. Alright, so I can also run this inside the Docker to check how this thing goes. The directory, so the file is sample.predict.py, uv run sample.predict.py. So this is the prediction that I got. It means that the pipeline is running successfully. I can deploy this pipeline to any platform like Azure ML or Amazon SageMaker or any other cloud providers. All right. Thank you very much.